Hello everyone, welcome to Code with Jay Thakur. Today we'll understand one of the most asked Java interview question, which is comparable versus comparator. Don't worry, if you are new to the Java, we'll understand this topic in the simplest way possible with just one example. Let's begin. Suppose we have 5 students, okay? And these are the 5 students which are standing randomly. Divya, roll number 2, Meera, roll number 4, Arav, roll number 1, Rohan, roll number 5, Kabir, roll number 3. I ask you to arrange them. So what question comes in your mind? Arrange according to what? Arrange according to by name or by roll number? Exactly, right? Unless someone tells us the sorting rule, we cannot arrange them. So this is exactly the same problem Java faces, right? So to fix this, Java support the two interfaces. The first one is comparable, second one is comparator. First, let's understand the comparable. Okay, so imagine every student says whenever someone wants to arrange us according to the roll number. So now Java will be happy because Java doesn't have to ask every time. Student have already decided the rule. That is called as a comparable, which means which means I know how to sort myself. The object or the class itself decide the order by implementing the compareTo method, which means the comparable means the object itself decide, okay, how it should be sorted. I'll show an example of it, then you'll get the more idea about it as well, right? I'll do one thing. I'll have a student class. Let me create the student class, right? Student, okay. In this, I'll add two fields. The first one is roll number. Second will be name, right? Same example will continue, right? Here, let me add the constructor for this as well. Let me add the toString as well. Okay. For the comparable, here I have to implement the comparable. So implements comparable for student object, right? So once I'll save this, I'll get a warning here. It will ask me to add the unimplemented method, which is compareTo method. That's what I told you earlier, right? Let me add it at the top below your fields. Here, simply I'll say, let me make this as other. I'll say this dot roll number minus other dot roll number, right? This is done. Okay, here I try to implement to whom? Comparable, passing the student as an object. Here we are telling to the Java, this is the student class, knows how to compare itself, and compareTo method it will be going to make use, right, to compare the two student. It automatically call these compareTo methods, right, and returning this dot roll number minus other that roll number. If the result of this is negative, this comes first. If the result of this is positive, other which comes first, and if the result is 0, both will be equal. That is the only simplest funda you have to remember, right? Now let me create one more class, which is the main method. You can consider very simple, right? Let me add main method here. Finish. Inside this, I'll try to create the array list. Okay, so list of the students list is equals to new array list, right? Inside this list, I'll try to add same student that we already have seen, right? So students, okay, here you can add the roll number and then you can add their student's name. So the first student, okay, let me add the 5 students, right? Let me copy it 5 times so it will be easy for us to add the multiple students. Student number, consider 2, then 4, then 1, then 5, and the last one is 3. Okay. First student will be Divya. Second student name will be Meera. Third student name will be, I'm just taking the same name which was earlier I shown, right? Next student is Rohan, and at last I'll have a Kabir, right? Let me save this. I'll try to call collections.sort method, then only the compareTo method which I shown, it will be called, right? So you have to call collection.sort, and here I'll try to pass list of my students. What I'll do, I'll just on the list, I'll try to call the streams, right, which is the JDK feature, and for each loop, here I'll use system.out method references and try to print the students. Println, yes, that is needed. Okay. So let me show you now console here. Okay. We are using the comparable, so it will be going to sort all the students by their roll number. Okay. That is what the logic it was there, sorted by using the roll number, right? So it's sorting. So first will be the Arav, second will be Divya, third will be Kabir, fourth will be Meera, accordingly fifth will be the Rohan, right? So this is nothing but your comparable. That's it about your comparable, right? Now let's continue with the same example. Okay. Tomorrow, let's suppose someone will ask you, arrange it according to, not by roll number, but arrange it according to by name, right? So can comparable do this? Because comparable cannot do. It's not possible with comparable to do, because it's already logic contained by compare using the roll number. So comparable cannot do this. Now we need another person to decide the sorting. So that another person will be comparator. Comparator, which means someone outside the object that will decide your sorting. That's what the comparator is. Comparator is nothing but an outsider decides the sorting order. A separate class, okay, or you can make use of the lambda that decides the sorting by implementing the compare method. So comparator will use the compare method, and it will sort according to, it will support your customized sorting, right? By sorting by name, sorting by age, sorting by student ID accordingly, right? Now let's see the example of it. Very simple. Name, I want to make the changes. I already mentioned that someone outside, okay, outsider that will decide the order, which means one separate class we do have to create, outside class we do have to create. Here I'll create a, let's suppose, name comparator class. I'll try to create comparator class. I'll say comparator. Let me, why it is not possible? Yeah, comparator, yes. Click on OK. I'll simply will say students. Yeah, click on finish. Very simple logic. Here I'll just say o1 dot name dot compare to o2 dot name. So now it will be going to gives us the customized sorting for the name. Let's suppose tomorrow you will get the requirement to compare by age. So you will create the separate age comparator class. You will compare your age. If you want to compare by address, you will create address comparator class accordingly, right? Now let's get back to the main class, comma, new name comparator. This is the only change, and this will, the same logic will be there for to print it, right? Let me clear. Now it will not going to sort according to the ID, or it will not going to sort according to the roll number. It will sort according to their name, right? So let me execute it. As you can see, Arav, then Divya, then Kabir, then Miran, then Rohan, right? So this is what is comparable. This time this student didn't decide which sorting technique we have to use, right? A separate class decided which is the name comparator, right? So that's the comparator, right? I'm using here collections.sort list new comparator. I try to call that class and try to print it, right, accordingly. So earlier sorted by roll number, right? Now sorted by name. Excellent, right? So comparable says, that's what I told you. Comparable says, no problem. Comparable says, I'll decide my own default sorting order. And then comparator says, no problem. I'll decide the sorting from outside whenever needed. That is why we created the separate class for it, right? So what I mean is, if the object itself knows how to sort, use comparable. If you want someone outside the object to decide the sorting, use comparator, right? Now let's get back to some more differentiation point that will be help for interview purpose, right? Comparable, actually it's there in java.language package. Comparator is there in java.util package. Comparable, it offers compareTo method for sorting. Comparator, it offers compare method for sorting purpose. Comparable into the same class, you don't have to create any separate class. Inside the same class, you can override the method, you can write your logic. Separate class you have to create, okay, for the comparator purpose. That I already shown you. Age comparator, name comparator, address comparator, like that, right? Sorting ways, only natural sorting or the default sorting offered by the comparable. Comparator offer flexible way, which is the custom sorting. That's what we discussed, right? Use cases, default sorting or natural sorting, that if you want, comparable always will be the better option. But if you want the custom sorting, then comparator will be useful, right? Great. So I hope the difference between comparable and comparator is crystal clear now. If you found this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe to Code with Jay Thakur. See you in the next video.